In this video, we're going to be going over a very important topic, and that is how you can avoid getting scammed. Now, this info is going to help save you if you're going to fall for a scam in the future, or you can help your friends, your family, your parents, your grandparents with this information so you can help them avoid getting scammed as well. And in order to do this, we need to first understand that there are multiple different types of scams. And on top of that, especially over the last couple years, scams have been getting more and more clever. So let's jump right into it. First, what we want to do is look at the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, what they have described as a scam and the different types of scams. So they have it broken down here, and we can see that there's 4 main signs that something is a scam. The first is that a scammer pretends to be from a trusted organization that you know. Now, this is the scam that is really the most clever because it can come in a lot of different forms. So let's say your bank, you think it's your bank, reaches out to you and says, hey, do you recognize this transaction? Log in to make sure that that's correct. Now, a lot of times these types of scams will come in the form of a phone call, an email, or a text. And what you want to make sure is that you're not just responding just because you think it's that organization that you trust. Now, scammers often pretend to be contacting you also on behalf of the government. They might use a real name, like the Social Security Administration, the IRS, or Medicare, or they may just make up a name that sounds official. And some pretend to be businesses that you know, like a utility company, your electric, your internet, a tech company, or even a charity asking for donations. So nothing is above these scammers. Always remember that they are not ethical, they're not playing by the rules, and they use technology to change their phone numbers that appear on your caller ID, and they do the same thing with emails. So that's the first type of scam, when someone is pretending to be an organization or they're pretending to be a person that you know. Now, you're on YouTube, so you probably see this on some of the big YouTuber channels, but people will create a fake account. It looks just like that YouTuber with their profile picture, and they'll have something that says, hey, send me a text on WhatsApp, or send me this many Bitcoin and I'll send you double back. Those are clear signs that it's a scam, but always remember that people are impersonating organizations and people. Now, the second type of scam there is when the scammer says that there's a problem or there's a prize. Now, they may say that you're in trouble with the government, that you're going to get arrested. I'm not sure, but I know a lot of us have gotten those voicemails that say you are going to be under arrest if you don't call us back with your bank info or something like that. Now, sometimes it's very obvious, but other times they may say that you owe money or someone in your family had an accident, emergency, or they could go after your technology and say there's a virus on your computer and you need to click this link to clean your virus. Some scammers also say that there's a problem with one of your accounts and that they need more information to verify if it's actually you. And others will lie and say that you won money in the lottery or some sweepstakes, but you need to pay money to actually get access to it. So that's the second way that scammers are running these types of scams. Now, moving into the third way, scammers will pressure you to act immediately. Scammers want you to act before you have time to think. So if you're on the phone, they might tell you not to hang up so you don't have time to go look into their backstory. They may even threaten to arrest you, to sue you, to take away your driver's license, or even deport you. And they may also say that your computer and all your social media files or accounts are going to be corrupted and lost. Now, always remember this. If someone is trying to get you to do something quick, in a hurry, and trying to get you to act immediately, that is a surefire way to understand that this is probably a scam. Because anything in life that you do need to update, they're not just going to spring it on you with no notice. They're going to give you time to make those changes. So if something just feels like they're trying to rush you into something and push you into it, and they're being pushy, be very careful because that is very likely a scam. And the fourth type of scam that these scammers love to run is telling you to pay them in a specific way. So they'll often insist that you pay them money through a money transfer app or putting money on a gift card and then giving them that number. And some will even send you a check that will later turn out to be fake, but then they'll tell you to deposit that and send them the money. These are all different types of scams and frauds. And understanding the 4 basic types of scams is going to help you moving into the next part of the video, which we are going to go over how you can avoid these scams. So now that you know the main types of scams that these scammers run, let's get into what you can actually do to avoid a scam. Now, the first is once you do get a weird call, an email, or a text that just is out of the ordinary and you already know it's a scam right off the bat, Do not click any links. That's the number one thing. Do not click anything, whether it's a photo in there, whether it's a link that says, hey, you need to update this or you're going to lose everything. Those are scams. Do not click that, because if you click that, that is how they can install a virus on your phone or your computer. So what you want to actually do is block that number. So whether that's on your phone, block that number, mark it as spam so you know. Also, if it's an email, make sure to add that to your spam or your junk folder. And not only that, but also block future emails from that email address. Now, this is just the name of the game, being in today's world where everything is driven by technology. Everything is very easy to be replicated and scammed and come off as they're an institution that you trust. So never, ever click a link, and also block those callers and those emails once you identify that this is a scam. Then what you want to make sure you never do is give out any personal information or financial information that someone has requested from you, whether that's on the phone, an email, a text, whatever it is. Now, legitimate organizations will never call you, email you, or text you and ask you for sensitive info. And this is in all of their terms of service. They're not going to ask you for your password, your social security number, your bank account info, or your credit card info. So if they are doing that, understand that that is not information you should ever give to anyone unless it's actually through the organization and you actually are signing up and it's very separate than someone reaching out to you and telling you you need to update this. And they get very clever with this. They'll say, hey, your password's going to expire. Click here to log in. And when you go to click that link, it'll show you a page that looks identical to the real website. But guess what? You're not giving the real website your login info. You're now changing the password for that scammer. And then they're going to log in and they're going to do a lot of damage. And it's going to take you so much time and energy to get all of that back. So the best way to avoid a scam is to prevent it from even happening in the first place. And you can do that by never sharing any personal information with anyone. And this, once again, is in all of the different apps and stuff that you use. It's in their term of service. So understand the tools you're working with. They're not going to ask you for these things. So if you do get an email from a company that you do think is real, it's still best to not click any links. And my best word of advice is to go directly to that website. So if your bank does send you an email or something that you need to update something, don't click the link in that email. Even if it looks like it's legit, go directly to that website. Make sure you're on the right browser tab. Make sure it's the right address. And also make sure it has that little lock symbol next to the domain name. That means it's an HTTPS encryption service that they're using with their website, and that means that the data you send is actually encrypted. Now, if they don't have that, I know a lot of browsers like Google Chrome will actually tell you, hey, your connection is not secure on this website. So that's another way you can see right off the bat if something is likely to be a scam. But remember, never click any links and never give any personal information to people. The next thing you want to do is focus on not acting with urgency. Now, this is one of the biggest ways scammers actually get you to fall for their trick, is that they give you some sort of deadline, or they say, hey, the next 10 people that send me this many Bitcoin will get this many back. And what that does is, like we said previously, it doesn't allow you to do your research, your due diligence. So never try to fall for that act of urgency, and encourage other people as well to not fall for that. Next, what you want to do to avoid scams is to understand how scammers work. And they want to get your information. They want you to pay them in specific ways. They don't play by the rules. A lot of times they'll tell you to send them cryptocurrency or something that's harder to track. So once you start to understand the top warning signs like we're going over, you can use that to your benefit, and you can really start to distinguish, this is probably not legit, I should stay away from this. And then moving on to the next point, you want to be vocal about this. So talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your parents, your grandparents, and be honest and open with them with what is going on in the marketplace, what kind of scams you're seeing, and also be open with them how they can avoid scams. So the more vocal you can be with your family and your friends and your community, the more we can just raise awareness for what is going on. And the more awareness there is, the more likely we can actually avoid these scams. And then that will also help cut down on scams. Because if a new method they're trying to get through to you is not working, they're going to have to try to find some other scam. They're not going to keep doing something that's not working. So the more we can educate ourselves and our community, the better off we're going to be at avoiding scams. you want to start to also just think about it from a common sense point of view. And this will also help you not get scammed. Doesn't matter what type of scam it is, but just ask yourself, is this too good to be true? Is this something that doesn't make that much sense? And if you said, you know what, I think this is too good to be true, chances are it is a scam. And in life, the truth is, you will never get something for nothing. You will never get something for nothing. Remember that. Ingrain that into your philosophy. Nothing is free in this world. Even one of those free business lunches, that's not free. They're trying to sell you something. Or you yourself are the product and they're going to be using you and getting your data and things like that. So nothing in life is free. It's the same thing with using social media platforms, right? You might think it's free. Oh yeah, I have a Facebook account. It's free to just go on there. Wrong. You are the product. They're using your data to sell you advertisements that they get paid on. So nothing in life is free. And if something does sound too good to be true, or that you hit some lottery or won some sweepstakes, it is just not true. You need to remind yourself nothing in life is free. And if it's too good to be true, it most likely is. And lastly, if you do come across a scam, the FTC does have a webpage you can use to submit that to them. And this will just help, the FTC start to crack down on some of these bigger known scams. Of course, there's so many different kinds out there that they can only go after the big dogs first and then work their way down. But the more people that do start to report scams to them, that will help them. And like we said, the more you talk about this with your community and your friends and your family, the better off you're all going to be. Now, I do want to end this on a positive note because even though the scammers are getting more clever, so is everybody else. More people are understanding that there's ways to avoid this. You don't need to be scared to use the internet to do things, to venture into new fields, but you need to do your due diligence. Make sure you're only working with reputable organizations. And like we said, avoid urgency at all costs because that is what is going to hurt you and get you scammed. So I hope this was a video just to open your eyes. And if you already knew this stuff, remember, not everyone knows this and people are falling for scams every single day. So the more we talk about this as a community, the more we can help everybody stop getting scammed, stop losing money, stop getting their identity stolen. Come on, guys, we're all smarter than this. We can raise above the scammers, but it takes all of these things and actually putting them into practice to do so. So I hope that was a helpful video. If you like this kind of content, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out a bunch of content every single week about freelancing, entrepreneurship, and creating lifestyle freedom. Check out the next video that pops on the screen. And until the next one, I look forward to your success.